Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Three Bridges. So there's another update from the loft on progress towards the latter part of March. So I had one comment on the last episode about where did the three levels from my Uxbridge station go to, and I realised I talk about this being a 3-deck system. I've probably been introducing some confusion. So Uxbridge is on 3 levels. I suppose this is stub end station for my underground line, and it's somewhere to store my underground trains, so I can store up to 6 4-carriage trains at Uxbridge. And then there's going to be 2 tracks at the bottom. So if you look in, these 2 central ones form part of a return loop that allows me to run the underground as a continuous line. So if I go back to that question about where are the 3 levels, so this is obviously the bottom level, so it has sort of my Wendover station that was the start of my layout. So this is when I'm sort of 5 on my first railway journey up to London, and then it also contains Amersham, Moor Park, and then going around the other side of the loft will be the London stations. So the second deck is about 40 centimetres or just over a foot higher. So this is the subframe for the second deck, and this will be something I'll start on next year. And then there is a third deck up here, which is going to be the final level I'll get up to in a couple of years, 4 or 5 years time, I suppose. And so the 3 levels, if I try to show it here, so I see the upper, the middle, and then the lower one. So, and obviously my underground became something that developed last year, so I needed somewhere to bring my trains. So I started to basically build this structure, which is sort of tagged on the side, and this was also on 3 levels. So I hope that explains it to the person who's asking the questions. Okay, so I suppose if I come back to what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks, so I've built the return loop for the bottom level of Uxbridge. So this allows me to run trains continuously, so they sort of return round, they go under there, and then feed back into the lower level, and then they can make their way through the Cheese Grater Bridge and up my Hillington Hill incline to the other end. So I've managed to get all the track on the incline sort of fixed now. So I'm just working on the next section, and I'll show you. So having fixed the track for the incline, what I've now got to do is, there's basically 2 tracks that come from Harrow on the Hill towards Uxbridge, and they have to basically connect it with these 6. So I've got this point section here, so I've built the baseboard, and I'm starting to try and work out the incline, see if the trains will actually run up it. So the main incline that I call sort of Hillington Hill is about 2%. Trains quite comfortable with that, but to get up to the end here, so I join in the end baseboard where it sort of cuts through and underneath some of the other lines, it's sort of 3 or 4% incline. It's mainly because I took the decision that when I positioned Uxbridge at the end there, I didn't want it to sort of foul the view across, so I have to sort of drop down quite a bit to fit it in. so at the moment I'm just been testing out a train to see if it will do the incline. It's quite happy with it, but I'll show you the results. I'll try and stop swinging around. So this is the bit that's sort of 3 to 4% incline. I'll just have to stop it. It's quite happy. Ignore the temporary supports. They're just, attach them in such a way that I can play around with the incline height just to work out what works, and then once I've got it fixed I'll chop them down. And obviously running back to Uxbridge is not an issue because gravity takes over and it obviously flies down. Anyway, it's 1938 stock. It's running in DC at the moment, just while I test things out. Okay, so the next thing I need to do, obviously, get this board positioned so that all these tracks can join up. So I'll bolt through here, fix that one. I can lay the tracks in a little bit, and then I need to. I'm happy now with the incline that I've got up here, so I'll recut the supports and attach them underneath and fix them to the floor so they'll hold this section. There's enough clearance here under the mechanical point, control box, signal box I suppose. And then at the moment they come round the corner. This is obviously where I have the Chiltern lines and the 2 underground lines that come from Amersham. So this is very much similar to how it is just outside of Harrow on the Hill station. So there's a cutting down and you go, the tracks go under, and there's a quite a nice cutting structure that I've got to build here. So looking forward to this. And then what I'm going to try and do today is just extend baseboard up around the corner through here, got cut into the frame again, and basically get to this point here. So I will carry on and then I'll show you where I got to a bit later on. You gotta love senior moments, haven't you, as you get older? So I said the challenge today is to get the track laid. I think the challenge today is not to keep going up and down from the loft to the garage for a screw and a nut and another tool. And anyway, so far I've made 2 trips today, but I think I've got everything, although I seem to have lost my packet of washers. Also seems to be another issue of senior moments. I keep losing stuff. I had a sort of 3 o'clock in the morning thought last night, which was, so at the end of the Uxbridge station, where obviously the return loop goes, there is supposed to be the station front, which I haven't taken up to the loft net yet. I built it back in May, June last year, and the back of it is sort of the same width as the station, sort of 30 centimetres, but the front of it is wider, and I've realised that I've pushed my station right up against the rest of the subframe for the rest of the decks, which means there isn't enough space to stick the front of the station on. So I'm going to need to angle it slightly. I'll show you what I mean, but yes, another senior moment. Right, I'll try and explain the station front dilemma. So this is obviously the end of Uxbridge, the wires, the lighting and everything. And this is basically the baseboard that the station building is going to sit on. And obviously it allows for 2 central lines to pass underneath it. And so I built the station structure. I try and pop it in place. So originally it was obviously going to sit front ways on, but because I've put the station close up to basically the Chiltern line, the rest of the station, it doesn't quite fit. It's sort of off centre by, 5 centimeters, a couple of inches. So what I'll do is I can just angle it slightly. So my station front will effectively go like that. I just need to create a sort of wedge shape in here as a sort of a join between the two parts. And also, because these are the ends of my platforms, and stopping a train accurately to within a centimetre, it's not easy, especially with DCC. So I'm going to have some little foam buffers, use some washing up pads, just so that if the train, I don't stop it in time, or if somebody else is hovering it and they're not stopping it, it'll just hit the soft foam and stop. Okay, so it's a couple of hours later. I think there's only 7 trips to the garage, but a lot of that was actually cutting wood. There was just a couple of times I forgot a bit. So I've got the end of the Uxbridge incline or decline as you come out of Harrow the Hill. So it's in. This is still about 4% here. Going to get it in, and I've got a sort of temporary track blade with a curve round, and then it goes down to here. So let's run a train up. So I don't have a train cam, but train's happy, so that's good. It is working, but in terms of power to get it up there, but it's happy, and it's nice to have full carriage train running again as well. So I should have some lunch and then spend the afternoon cutting and fixing track. Okay, so it's been good progress. So all the track is in, joined up, so it goes to the point section. And then it continues up, round, goes under the tracks, and then comes through. And got to focus there. That one's got up to there. I need to get the board in at the end here, so I need to go and find. I'm not sure if I've got any board left that's big enough for that. I'll go and have a look. Anyway, I'll run this one down to one of the platforms in the station, and then I can then run another train up from the station. So the track's all working fine. I just need to put some edging on around, and so this part will be sort of scenic up to Well, probably all the way actually. Something to think about. Well, I hope you enjoyed the March update. Is it March? Yeah, it's March. April tomorrow, I think. Things are going okay. So as I sort of, if you're a regular watcher, viewer, you know we've got a lot going on this year. So the first big task is done, which was good. So our heating system changed from oil to air source heat pump, and it's all working fine, and the house is nice and warm. So that means we can get on to do some of the other stuff. So, but it's meant that I haven't done as much up in the loft this month as I maybe I'd hoped to, but I have managed to get a lot more done in the garage. So all the sheet board I've got is all cut down and ready for use or in use. So I've got about 6 weeks before I sort of have to redo the garage shape slightly. I'm gonna sort of cut a corner off it. It's basically a workshop, it's not a garage, but it blocks a lot of view from the kitchen. So I'll get some more sheet material ordered so that I can do a lot more down the other side of the loft, so that I can get my London stations, at least the subframe and the baseboards in before the summer, because I'm thinking I'll use the garage for a bit, which will disrupt things. So yeah, so we're making progress. Yeah, so I managed to make it to the end of Feb to ScotRail over in Glasgow, which was really good. And went to the Hornby stand to ask about the Lumo trains, when they're going to get released, and they positively said the 15th of March, and they had one of the examples there which did look really nice, so I've ordered it obviously for my East Coast line and paid the supplier. It's not Hornby, and we're still waiting, aren't we, at the end of March, along with everybody else. They are very slow and unreliable. Anyway, the other good stuff I did manage to get there was I got some more coal wagons, which are related to places I've been. So Pickering in Yorkshire and somewhere else, I can't remember. I'm trying to sort of collecting little coal wagons from places that I know or I have visited. And I also managed to get a Class 40 to a new one, Bachmann, which I'm hoping will get up, well, it will get up my inclines to the next deck, which unfortunately my old Hornby Class 33s struggle with because the wheels just slip. So yeah, so with that in mind and staring at my wall of inspiration with all the trains that I want to run in the future, I'm starting to feel like to actually run them and not have them on the wall all the time. So I've sort of changing a few plans temporarily to have the layout so that certain of the later trains can actually run, so I can just enjoy them. It's not a major upheaval, but it will mean basically the bottom deck will be a roundy for most of this year, and then it will change back to being the Chiltern line going forward, and then obviously I'll have my incline up to my second deck, which will where the more modern trains will run to. So yeah, so quite happy with that. But yeah, March has been a bit of a muddly month, I suppose. A lot of chop and changes in thought, which I haven't sort of documented, or if I have, I've trashed the video because I just it's not burnout from the hobby, burnout from YouTube, I think, and making content. I just feel like I needed a break away from it all until I work out what I want to do, and that may be the case going forward as well. I don't even know if I'm going to actually put this bit up. Right, let's carry on. Got coffee, bolts, everything else. Go back to the loft.